In a study of 19 industrialized nations, the United States had the highest rate of preventable deaths. Over 100,000 Americans die every year from preventable causes. Some of the leading causes of preventable deaths, such as obesity, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure, are linked to risky behavior, poor diet, and inactivity. By addressing these factors, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Austria all helped lower their rates of preventable deaths more than 20%. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Healthy bodies can come in many shapes and sizes. Focus on yourself rather than on people you see in magazines or on TV. Develop a realistic image of what good health means for you. Genetics play a significant role in determining your individual health. Knowing your family medical history can help you identify diseases that are a greater risk to you. While you can't change your genetic makeup, there are factors that contribute to your health and wellness that you can control. Knowing your genetic risk factors will help you know what precautions you should take to stay healthy. Your entire body works as a system. All parts of your body function together in a fine-tuned balance that must be maintained to ensure optimum health. There are two major factors you can control to help maintain this balance: the food you eat and the energy you expend through exercise. A healthy diet is very important for maintaining your overall health and wellness. Make sure that you're providing your body with the necessary fuel and nutrients. But getting enough exercise is just as important as eating healthy. On average, Americans don't meet the recommended amount of physical activity necessary to see its benefits. 1 in 3 American adults engage in no physical leisure time activity. 80% of leisure time is spent playing games, watching TV, reading, or relaxing. Sedentary jobs have increased 83% since 1950. 65% of adults are obese or overweight. Regular physical activity is one of the most important things you can do to maintain your health. Physical activity can help reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease, control your weight, strengthen your bones and muscles, improve your mental health, and increase your chance for living longer. Currently, over 81 million people in America have one or more forms of cardiovascular disease. 1 in 3 deaths are a result of cardiovascular disease. 10 million Americans suffer from osteoporosis, a weakening of the bones. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men will develop osteoporosis after the age of 50. 59.7 million Americans 20 years and older have the early warning signs of diabetes, known as prediabetes. Prediabetes more than doubles the risk of death due to heart attack. It doesn't take much to lower your risk factors. The American Heart Association recommends 30 minutes of moderate physical activity per day to improve mental and physical wellness and decrease the risk of disease. There are many activities that provide the desired benefits of regular exercise. Consider dancing, playing a sport, taking a walk, or a less common activity, such as geocaching. Choose an activity you would enjoy, and bring a friend. Any physical activity is better than none. Incorporate exercise into your everyday life. Use a push mower to mow your lawn. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park at the back of the parking lot, so you have farther to walk. Think of solutions that apply to your daily routine. Physical activity is just one factor in staying healthy. To keep your body in good health, get exercise, eat nutritious food, get preventative screenings and regular checkups, and avoid risky behavior such as smoking. Live longer, be happy, be healthy.
14 and 14 is the new 21. 21 is the new 35. 35 You're almost alive. 7 is the new 14. And 14 is the new 21. 21 is the new 35. 35. You're almost alive.
The sippy cups, they do music for children, but I think we want to appeal to the child and the adult as well. So a lot of our music actually is a bit retro in the style, meaning it wants to remind the parents of their youth and the music that they related to when they were young.
We have a lot of writers in this band, and I think that's one of the strengths, and what makes it so interesting is it just gives us a chance for everyone to express a little bit of themselves, and then, you know, we get all this great variety.
Well, we all write music. Allison and Rudy and I are the main songwriters, but Ariana's been writing, and Doug contributes lyrics because he's got all this experience in social emotional learning and environmental learning, and so sometimes we get few messages in there in the background without being too heavy about it.
What I do with my characters is I definitely try to have jokes for the adults. You know, Super Guy is this kind of politically correct superhero, so kids are not going to really get the humor. But, you know, Super Guy's, you know, car runs on peanut butter, and, you know, his clothes are made of compost, and his superpower is using his words. It's a message that the parents appreciate, and also there are jokes that are kind of just for them. So it reaches them on that level. But for the kids, the visual itself and the over-the-topness and the zaniness of it reaches them at their level too.
Everyone, how are you? Excuse me, when the major says, how are you? You'll say, tip-top, major. Let's try that, shall we? How are you?
Tip-top, Major.
Lovely.
The way we approach writing for kids is that we feel that the world of kids in general is this kind of limitless world of imagination, and therefore anything goes. So you can have a song about a jellyfish or a song about a loose tooth, and you don't necessarily have to be writing about human relationship, which seems to be the core of most pop and rock and roll writing. So there's a huge amount of freedom there.
Something's in my mouth, feeling funny today. I'm moving my tongue, something's in the way. Hey, little tooth, I can feel you sway. I'm a little bit scared, but I guess that's okay.
I love writing songs for kids. I had not written a song in 10, 15 years before I joined this band, and suddenly not having to write about romantic love songs, taking that off the table was like the most wonderful set of blinders I could have imagined.
Totally.
And it's like, oh, there's so many things to write about. And up until then, it was like, well, I can't write, all these love songs have been written, and I'm not any good at writing those, and so therefore I can't write any songs. It's liberating.
It really is. And you can see the whole world and write about things that you normally wouldn't even think. Like a jellyfish. I mean, I wrote a whole song about a jellyfish. I mean, who would have known before when I was writing like songs of heartbreak? Who needs another one of those?
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
You know, we try to make them sophisticated enough that they're not like telling kids what to do, or, you know, we're trying to write with the childlike viewpoint, but in a sophisticated way.
It's been just a riot. It's been really a lot of fun being with these guys. I do a lot of different kinds of music, but I also teach, and I love working with children, and this is just a very special way of interacting with the young audience and bringing music to them, so it's really fun.
Greensaw is a design and build company that uses architectural salvage and recycled materials to build something new out of something old.
And we use as much as possible recycled, reclaimed material, and then combine that with cutting-edge green technologies in an effort to come up with the most efficient and conscientious remodel possible.
Philadelphia is an amazing city with so much history, and buildings are constantly getting torn down, and the leftover garbage, so to speak, from those buildings are just getting dumped or burned, or who knows what's really happening to it. And Greensaw's trying to take that and build new things with it.
Our motto is reclaiming green. It's overused, and it's one of those words it's been kind of just deadened over the years. And what we're trying to do is reinvent or reclaim it through the use of recycled and reclaimed material. If you go to a green build, everybody's focused on using quote-unquote green materials, but they're still new. And usually they're used when an entire structure is ripped down and then, let's say, a LEED platinum building is put up, but the entire history before that building is put up is lost. So what we try and do is not focus on additions or new builds, but take what's there, avoid demolition. It's kind of like a curse word in the shop. Instead, focus on deconstruction, take materials out, set everything aside that we can set aside for reuse, and then incorporate reclaimed, recycled materials into the final renovation. And then combine that with when we need a new green material. We feel that that's the most potent mix of, and the ideal definition of green. We try to stick by it.
We try to keep as much stuff out of the landfill as possible. We try to recycle stuff in shop, choose our materials well, design well, and build it well so that in the end, all this stuff ultimately stays where we put it, and isn't running the risk of later on returning to the landfill.
We use salvage, which is the basis of our company, in order to basically better manage waste management, to cut down on transportation time and gas, trucking, and everything else that goes with buying new material, because we get local salvage. We look at the work we do as something that we want to be good enough for the next buyer, or good enough for the people that bought it from us to raise a family and not want another kitchen. We believe that that's part of green. Building well, designing well, making a thing that functions well, that people want to have around. And I think that is, was maybe 10 years ago called just good design, and it does work in a green context. You can't just put up a junk house that doesn't use any toxins and call it green, because it'll get torn down. And that's just a big waste of energy.
You can feel that there's a lot more spirit and love and blood, sweat, and tears involved in the homes, and the pieces that they make have so much more character, and you feel that there's a life there in everywhere you look. There's a story to everything, and I think that regular construction is, and even the green construction that's out there, which I support, but I think it's lifeless and it's empty, and it just feels kind of like it's cool, and it might look modern and chic, but there's no good story to tell.
And if anybody's out there is taking down a house or even a wall, set aside material that could be reused, and also, especially for older buildings, just the importance of respecting the people that came before us. I mean, our greatest teachers in all of this, it's been the old timers who are long dead, but by taking apart material and seeing how they did it before that, there's an immense amount to be learned, and incredible renovations that can take place using their techniques and their materials.
Ready, Willing, and Able is a transitional transitional housing facility for 70 single homeless men. The mission of RWA is independence and self-sufficiency. We and the people that we serve are not interested in a hand out, but a hand up.
I am a supervisor in training. A typical day for me here at Ready, Willing, and Able is to help the supervisor who I work with to gather the lunch for the guys, get our assignments for the day, and to come out here and make sure that the work is getting done.
Right now I'm in the Empowerment Zone, which is a new initiative started in the northern part of Philadelphia, and we're keeping an area clean. We're upkeeping an area. Daily maintenance, emptying trash, keeping the curbs clean, sweeping the streets. It's a daily presence in the neighborhood.
Our graduation criteria, it's three things. It's that you have a job, you have a key to a place that you call your own, and that you are alcohol and other drug-free. We have some mandatory things here at Ready, Willing, and Able that you've got to participate in, and one of them is job preparation. In addition to that, you have another 4 weeks of part-time job search, and after that month, you have a month of full-time job search.
There's a list of things that we have to do, like our objectives while in the program. One of the things was cleaning up any legal obligations, and I'm making inroads to that. Getting a driver's license, and I'm making inroads to that. That's another marketable asset. There's a couple of different things that as stages progress in the program, I can obtain this so that when I'm at the end, I have a complete package to present to a potential employer.
The most important thing that I learned thus far is men becoming good men, men becoming better men. No matter what the situation may have been in their life through drug addiction, homelessness, divorce, whatever, that we can come together as a whole in one unit and build each other up to become better fathers, better husbands, potential husbands, better men, better employees and employers.
This program is about living inside and outside of this building with dignity and self-respect. So all of those things that kind of like were churning around in people's lives prior to them getting here, especially for those people who may have had historical criminal justice involvement. Those things, meaning your record, are not going away. And they are certainly a hurdle that you have to leap over. But the preparation that you get while you're here is to build something that kind of outweighs whatever your past looks like. The primary thing that allows a man to be in this building is that he is homeless. And so what we try to do a lot here at Ready, Willing, and Able is change the perception of who people who happen to be homeless are. Everybody is not derelict, everybody is not laying on the ground, everybody is not a criminal, everybody is not committing crimes, that kind of thing. The other part of it is to move people from hopelessness to hope. And that's where the motivational stuff comes in at.
Before I came here, I had given up on life altogether. I just got fed up and tired, and I was married for a while, raised 4 kids, and I was tired. And when I came into Ready, Willing, and Able, I didn't have no hope at all, And for some reason or another, something just kicked in, for me to give this place a chance. And I had a chance here to actually to explore myself and also demonstrate what I had learned over the years prior to me being homeless. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here now, because I feel as though it's something that has to be passed on to not just the older generation, but the younger generation as well, that's fallen into the same category of homelessness and everything else at a young age.
I think that this region in particular has one of the nation's richest agricultural heritages. And I think that in Philadelphia, you, a small producer, can have a big impact. And that's really important.
There are groups who are taking over abandoned properties and turning them into green projects.
If I've never seen fresh greens or carrots, then all I know is I'm going to eat processed food for the rest of my life. Local farming changes all that.
You buy it from me, I can tell you where I grew it. I can show you where I grew it.
People are learning what the importance of local is, and they want to support their local farmers and local small businesses, and definitely keep their money circulating in their community.
A lot of restaurants that are serving seasonal food, local food.
This whole local sustainability thing is not just a trend that's going away.
This is not a gimmick. This is real life, and this is what people have done for generations and generations and generations.
It'd be great to have every neighborhood have access to local food, and we're a long way from that.
There's a lot of what they call food deserts, which is it's crazy when there's so much food that's grown within 10 miles of here.
Access to fresh food means that you don't have these food deserts, that you have people from across a broad economic spectrum that have the ability to get foods that are seasonal, local.
We have a very active local food movement here. I think Philadelphia was ranked really high in terms of farmers markets. There's a lot of the local food that's starting to get into bigger markets like supermarkets.
I first learned about the food desert problem, and I didn't see the grocery industry embracing this problem. I thought that someone needed to be the one to show the industry and the world that this is a solvable problem.
We want people in low-income and moderate-income neighborhoods to have more and more choices.
A lot of people are taking kids from schools out to local farms to actually see where their stuff is growing. And if one kid eats better, more wholesome, he's got a healthier life.
A group from Temple came here. They wanted to help the community to change their diet a little bit because nobody was selling fruits or vegetables. So I said, sure, I'll try it. Kids will grab an apple now. Before, they will grab a bag of chips. They don't have to go far away to get these things. They just go to the corner store.
If I can be part of changing the environment so that people have access to something as basic a necessity as food and plants and community, then I've done my job for the day.
Teens for Good is a youth-led community garden and farming business. Teens for Good grows fresh, local, healthy produce to sell at local restaurants, corner stores, making food accessibility in low-income neighborhoods a little easier to get to.
Feels real good because you're walking through the market and you say to your mom, "Hey mom, I helped growing up that," So it's a wonderful experience.
By keeping agriculture in the community, it gives you endless amounts of possibilities.
We grow our own food and then we harvest it and then we sell it to the people. The profit goes right back into the community.
We want to make people realize that this is not a movement of sorts, it's a common sense thing. We want to feed people, we want people to have access to clean, fair food.
Think about the quality aspect of foods. Good vegetables that we have here. I mean, you got a little taste of everything in Philadelphia.
Local is the backbone of what makes the Reading Terminal Market great. Our slogan is fresh and local every day. It's a place where people from all walks of life, all income levels, class and ethnic backgrounds come to shop for food. It supports the environment, and it makes our city and our region a better place to live.
We all want to be healthy and we all want to live long lives, and the key to that is clean, fresh vegetables and fruits, clean produced meats, free of hormones. It makes people more connected with where their food comes from, and I think that when you have peace of mind of where you're getting your food, then you can be happier.
If the population continues to increase at its current rate, we will not be able to maintain or raise the global standard of living without risking the destruction of the environment. It took hundreds of thousands of years for the world population to hit 1 billion. In comparison, it took only 123 more years to reach 2 billion, and merely 33 years to hit 3 billion. Currently, the world population increases by 1 billion people every 13 years. Every second, an average of 4.2 people are born and 1.8 people die. That's a net gain of 2.4 people per second. Today, the population totals almost 7 billion. By 2025, it is estimated to reach 8 billion. By 2050, there will be 2.5 billion more people on Earth than there are today. That's an increase equal to the entire world population in 1950. The demand for fresh water increases as the population's size increases, but there's only so much fresh water on Earth. By 2025, it's estimated that more than 1 in 3 people will be affected by water shortages. In more than 1 out of every 2 developing countries, the population has been growing faster than the food supplies. To feed the projected population in 2025, we will have to double food production over current levels. Even if we are able to double our food production, it won't come without a cost. Increasing food production creates a chain reaction of ecological disruption. The problems with climate change will only grow worse as the population increases. The higher the population, the greater the demand for oil, gas, coal, and other fuels that create greenhouse gases. Though the population in developed countries represents a small amount of the world population, they consume fossil fuels much faster than developing countries. In the United States, each person contributes about 1,644 tons of carbon dioxide. That's 5 times higher than a person in China, and 91 times more than a person in Bangladesh. Though levels of consumption differ greatly around the world based on economic status, the higher our population, the higher our total levels of consumption. What can we do? Lower levels of unnecessary consumption in developed countries, and find sustainable solutions to meet increasing demands on food, water, fuel, and other basic resources. Provide universal access to family planning services, contraceptives, and information. Empower women. Give women access to healthcare, education, and birth control. Give women the right to control the size of their families. Democracy cannot survive overpopulation. Human dignity cannot survive it. Convenience and decency cannot survive it. As you put more and more people into the world, the value of life not only declines, it disappears.